chiropractor or clinician in any type of field is like, okay, patient, we're doing this. This is a new habit for you in clinic, like we're adjusting you, but like you have to do some work as well. So in your paradigm and your sector of the world, what things do you usually tell patients, or like what can you tell our audience, all 60 of them?
68.
69.
I counted this morning.
68.
It's actually
Nope,
like
69.
Did you subscribe?
Is it really 69?
Not yet. I didn't.
He will be our
that.
69th.
I will be there.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, like when you're working with people, what are some like high points that you tell people,
Yeah.
like empowerment strategies?
Well, usually it starts with, their understanding where their issue is coming from. So here are some more actual bang for your buck strategies to keep it that way. Like a lot of times it'll start with body alignment and postural stuff. Or if they don't understand, here's like some breathing. Like here's how we can affect just super basics. And I don't like to give people a ton of homework right off the bat outside of alignment. But once they start to see how that affects, this is another cool thing. When you're on that machine, if you're out of alignment, it feels way worse than if you're in good alignment. And that's a very validating thing for like, oh, I get this. This makes sense. My body's designed to stay this way and support me this way. So just instilling the basics and the urgency of, here's what happens when we don't use our bodies the way they're designed to be used. And then progressing people forward, because I don't ever... Well, I shouldn't say ever. Like I very rarely see somebody beyond an initial intensive plan, right? They might do some check-ins and here and there and whatever, but my goal is to equip somebody to keep doing these positive habits and to have made enough of a change and ingrained enough of that change to stay that way long term. So like, oh yeah, I used to have this foot thing, but then we did all this work and I had to really strengthen up my hamstrings because this, and whatever it was. And now I just keep doing these fundamental things, like I integrate it into what I'm already doing, or I've got a little morning routine or whatever it is, and just empower the reason why we do these simple fundamental things. But usually it's not anything outside of just understanding the actual urgency to not slouch or allow yourself to do some of these normal compensations. So once people get that, they feel very empowered because now they understand this is where my issue came from. This is what I did to fix it. This is what I can keep doing to keep it away. And that's great. Like we've had people in horrible pain, I tell a quick story. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's your time.
It's your it is your time.
So I had a guy, Army vet, Afghanistan, had a guy fall from a second story on top of him. Spine like severely compacted, enough adrenaline being overseas, and by the time he got home was when it really started kicking in. So it goes through physical therapy and acupuncture and chiropractic and a lot of the conventional means, and he was like too guarded for a lot of those things to get in there, right? And so the main thing that ended up creating some relief for him was Oxycontin. And over the, I don't know, I'm not a pharmacist, I'm not the person, but when my girlfriend, now wife, had torn her ACL, they gave her 10 whatever units of Oxycontin to have at a couple times a day. This guy was doing 180 units every single day just to get by.
Yeah.
Right. So this was ridiculous. And this is year 6 of him coming home, and he's just a shell of a guy. Like he used to be like 250 pounds and really muscular and whatever. He's sitting on the bench, like a shell of a guy. We did our eval, we did the work, and figured out that most of his intensive avoidance was in these adductors, these inner thighs. And just for him to stand and try to march in place would kill his back, right? So on that first day, he was able to stand and march in place, right? Wow. So that was cool. But you fast forward, within 2 weeks, he was able to touch his toes again. Hadn't done that in 6 years. Within 30 days, he was completely off meds. Within, what was it? Probably right around that 30-day mark, we were back to deadlifts again, like weightlifting.
Jeez,
and
awesome.
so this guy, he's got young kids. He's, I don't know, maybe a year or two older than me. He's got young kids, and he's back to feeling like himself again. So what's the empowerment strategy there? It's like, I don't want to go back to where I was. And these are these simple little things that we just ingrained and implemented. It's like, yeah, you can't allow yourself, because one of his big things, he's got a very physical job, being outside a lot, wherever he would just stand to the outsides of his feet and kind of roll in, just talking with people. And that was kind of his normal posture. And he just had to break that. And keeping with that, doing a morning routine, continuing with strength work, I haven't worked with him intensely in probably, 3.5 years. And he's still doing awesome. Even though he still has a jacked up back, right? But it doesn't experience the symptoms of it because his body's adapted to use everything the way it's designed, and you don't get the breakdown.
Oh, that's such a cool story. I mean,
yeah, man.
Just saving lives, Think if that progresses another 6 years.
No kidding. Wouldn't be around.
That's crazy. I mean,
Good job,
that's why
man.
we're all in those stories like that just
Oh gosh,
keep in the back of your head.
That's amazing.
That's super cool.
All glory to God, but it's fun to play a part. So
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we're
seriously.
just a vessel.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
It's great.
Well, that's a great end.
Yeah, let's all shut
Man,
up now.
let's all shut up. And well, thanks again for coming
Thank
in.
you
and,
guys. I really appreciate you.
There's definitely going to be a episode 2. We'll have to talk about some other.
Yeah, we'll get
other
into
things.
the rest of life, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about shoulder things.
We can talk about shoulder things. I want to talk about fatherhood.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Yes. So,
Well, you have to stay strong if you have kids, because they're going to
You
come
do.
at you.
What more motivations you need?
Yeah.
They're
Seriously.
all violent. They just want to be on top. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
That's right. You gotta be ready.
Cool.
but yeah, we'll talk again. Otherwise, it's a wrap
On the tap.
on the tap.
I love it.